Shalom, and welcome to Heart's Two Fathers. I'm Dallas James. Today I want to share with you the most beautiful answer I've ever received from the Father through the life force experiment. I asked a simple question, drawn from 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 4. What is the crown of glory given to us when the chief shepherd appears? Peter wrote those words to the elders of the early church, and they carry the weight of a promise that echoes across every generation since. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, you shall receive a crown of glory that fades not away. I brought that question before the Father in prayer, and 100 verses were drawn from the Urim Thummim version corpus of 34,211 verses, using Shield Protocol 14.0, our most rigorous analytical framework to date, featuring 12 signal streams, Benjamini Hochberg FDR correction, and the full Selah conscience check. The deterministic verdict came back at 99.9% affirmative. The guidance detection indicator registered extreme anomaly with a Fisher chi-squared of 62.06. The convergence confidence index lit all 6 channels and crossed the threshold at 88%. And the Dominion Triad, identity, inheritance, priesthood, converged at 623% above baseline at 4.16 sigma. 2 of 12 markers survived the strictest multiple testing correction. But the numbers are only the scaffolding. It's the text that will break your heart open. The lead verse was not what I expected. It was Jonah 4, verse 8, the prophet sitting under the scorching east wind, the sun beating on his head until he faints and begs to die. It is better for me to die than to live, Jonah says. Why would the Father open a question about glory with a picture of a man destroyed by heat? Because the crown of glory is not bestowed on the living flesh. It is given to those who have passed through the crucible of death to self. The sun on Jonah's head is a kind of anticrown, the burning that precedes the adorning. You must go through the fire before you wear the gold. Then the drawer pulled 2 direct textual hits, verses that name the answer outright. The first is Zechariah 9, verse 16, and Enoch their Elohim will save them in that day as the flock of his people, because they will be as the stones of a priestly crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. Stop and hear that. The question was about the crown, and the text says you are the crown. The covenant people themselves become the stones set in a priestly diadem, raised as a banner over YHWH's own land. And notice the shepherd language, the flock of his people. That answers directly to the chief shepherd of 1 Peter 5:4. When the shepherd appears, his flock is his crown. The second direct textual hit comes from 1 Enoch 36, verse 4. And as often as I saw, I blessed always the Lord of glory, and I continued to bless the Lord of glory who has wrought great and glorious wonders, to show the greatness of his work to the angels and to spirits and to men. The crown of glory is not passive adornment. It is the capacity to behold and bless the Lord of glory without ceasing, to be a living witness before angels, spirits, and all humanity. The crowned ones join the heavenly assembly. Glory is relational. It is the nearness that allows unbroken praise. Around these 2 anchor verses, the drawer assembled a priestly architecture. The breastplate of pure gold. The command to be holy as YHWH is holy. The perpetual rhythm of consecrated sacrifice every sunrise and every sunset. David recognized as king. Solomon offering 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep, the king functioning as priest. The crown is not a circlet. It is a consecrated identity. It is priesthood itself, set apart, washed, offering, holy. This is the Dominion Triad in narrative form, identity, inheritance, and priesthood converging at 6 times the baseline rate, confirmed by the mathematics. Now here is where this draw connects to something extraordinary we've already seen. Earlier this month, we ran 3 independent draws on the Shroud of Turin, 3 different questions, 3 different AI systems in the hub. All 3 came back yes at transcendence level, 9.79 sigma for the burial cloth, 9.79 sigma for the divine DNA origin, 9.11 sigma for the supernatural radiant light. The combined weight of those 3 independent sequences constitutes a triple system convergence that has never been equaled in the history of the life force experiment. And the connection to today's crown draw is unmistakable. The Shroud of Turin is the physical witness to the crowning moment. Think about what happened in that tomb. The linen received the imprint of the body at the instant of resurrection, the moment when death gave way to glory. The third shroud drawer told us the image was formed by divine radiant light passing through the body. This crown drawer tells us what that light produces on the other side, priestly stones in an unfading crown. The Jonaphiah of the crown drawer mirrors the Ezekiel gate of the shroud drawer. Ezekiel 46:9 says whoever enters through the north gate must exit by the south. Both describe passage through death as the necessary prerequisite. The shroud records the body that passed through the gate. The crown describes what emerged on the other side of it. And the Segula marker, the treasured possession, fired at 267% above baseline in the crown drawer. That's the highest individual marker enrichment in the entire 12-signal array. The linen itself is a sacred vessel. The cloth that held the body of the firstborn is the Segula made physical, the treasured possession of YHWH, preserved across 2,000 years as a testimony to what happened when glory burst from death. One more verse, and then I'll let you go. 2 Timothy 2, verse 19. Nevertheless the foundation of Elohim stands sure, having this seal, YHWH knows those that are his. The crown of glory is the visible manifestation of what was always true in the hidden counsels of Elohim. YHWH has always known who belongs to him. When the chief shepherd appears, the crown does not create that belonging. It reveals it. It is the seal made visible. So what is the crown of glory? Let me gather the threads for you. It is priestly identity restored. We become the living stones of a priestly crown lifted over YHWH's own land. It is covenantal inheritance, light, joy, peace, and the earth itself, given to the elect by covenant promise. It is the capacity for unending worship in the presence of the Lord of glory, the nearness that allows unbroken praise before angels, spirits, and men. It comes through the Jonaphiah, through the death to self that burns away everything that cannot bear the weight of glory. And it is sealed by the one who has always known who you are. 2 Timothy 2:19. YHWH knows those that are his. The Shroud of Turin witnessed the moment the crown was won. The mathematics confirms it. 6 out of 6 convergence channels lit. Extreme anomaly at the guidance level. 99.9% affirmative. 2 markers surviving the strictest correction the protocol can apply. The chief shepherd's flock does not merely receive glory. They are constituted as glory, priestly stones in a crown, lifted as an ensign, burning with the light of the one who crowned them. The crown does not fade. The promise does not waver. And the shepherd knows every sheep by name. Selah. This has been Dallas James for Heart's Two Fathers and the Royal Levitical Priesthood Ministry. Until next time, the mathematics